guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm using my new products. It was supposed to be a first impressions video. I may or may not have used these products already in Toronto last weekend, but I am going to let you know what I think about these products as I'm applying my makeup. So if you'd like to see how I got this look using all of my new high-end products, then keep on watching. Alright, I adjusted the lighting a little bit better this time I think than last time, but I went ahead and did my eyebrows. I'm going to put my hair up in a ponytail because it gets in my way so much. My hair falls down my face in such a weird way. It like comes right here and right here. Just like cuts off half of my face. So I'm gonna put it up and hope that works. I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyes first, but I am gonna actually put my primer, my foundation on and everything. I'm just gonna leave out the like contouring and blush and all that stuff till after I'm done, so that if I do have to wipe away some fallout, I'm not wiping off concealer and all that stuff. Also, before we get started, this was supposed to be a first impressions video. No longer a first impressions video because I took so long to film this video. Honestly, like, great for the beauty gurus who just did this every day till they got big and famous, because it's so much work. So in other words, I've already used these products before, and as I'm putting them on, I'm just gonna let you know what I thought about them the first time and how they wore and all that fun stuff. Also, I'm gonna be using this mirror, so I'm sorry if I'm like, you can see me doing that, but I don't have anything in front of me with like things on it. I gotta figure out my situation here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna be using the Marc Jacobs Undercover Primer and Dewdrops. I'm gonna mix a little bit of them together first. So I'm gonna do 2 pumps of the primer and then 1 small pump of these Dewdrops. Okay? So I'm just gonna rub it together like this and put it on like a lotion. So you can see me like glistening in the camera. And I will say, a lot of people who have reviewed this combination say like, oh, it's great if it's summer and I just don't even want to put on foundation or anything. I'll just throw these two together on my face and I look glowy and dewy and lovely. And like, yes, you're definitely glowing, but this is weird. I definitely put way too much of the Dewdrops on, and that wasn't even like a full-on pump, but it was almost a full pump. So I would say yes to the 2 pumps of primer, but maybe try just a half of a pump or like a very little amount of the Dewdrops, because they are like super shiny and so luminous. Like, look at my face. It's like beaming at you. Now I'm gonna go in with my Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I'm in the shade Warm Beige. I think I'm gonna apply it with my beauty blender because I just put 1 full pump on there. I haven't done it like this in a while because I've been using a brush lately, actually. So let's see how this applies with a beauty sponge. This foundation claims to be medium to full coverage, but honestly, I feel like it might just be my sponge, but when I apply things with my sponge, the one that I've been using for almost a year, and I clean it almost every time that I use it, so it's still in good shape, but it just takes most of the product away, because I would say this is much more of a sheer coverage, and I think it has literally everything to do with the fact that I just used a beauty sponge. I feel like it would have looked way different if I had just used a brush, but whatever, you live and you learn, you know what I'm saying? So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to use some concealer, but not under my eyes yet. I'm going to do it on my eyes, and I'm going to blend it out with a smaller beauty sponge. So I'll take my Shape Tape concealer in the shade Medium, and I'm going to put that on my eyes, blend that out, and then I'll save the concealer for under my eyes afterwards, because if I do get any kind of fallout, I want to be able to kind of erase that with a brush first and then put concealer on to make sure that no traces of any type of fallout are evident on my face. Okay. Alright, my eyes are concealed now. The next step before I actually start putting the eyeshadow on is I'm going to put some tape from the outside of my eye to the edge of my brow, because I'm just not that great at eyeshadow placement, and this does seem to work pretty well for me. So when I take the tape away, there's going to be a very clear, straight line of where my makeup should be. That's another reason I didn't really want to conceal under my eye or anything yet, because chances are tape is probably going to steal away a little bit of your product. So it's just better to have less product on before you start. Then you can build it afterwards instead of having to fix it. I'm going to zoom you in for this part so you can see what's going on with my eyelids, and then I'll zoom you back out for the rest of my face. With my Morphe 518 in Rose Gold, I'm going to be going in with the shade Cashmere. That's going to go on my transition shade right here. Obviously you blend it all the way out to the tape, and you can build it as much as you want to build it. It's going to be a very fiery look. I know it's the end of summer, but I really love the burgundies and oranges in this palette. The kick up in this palette really isn't that bad. I mean, there's a little bit of fallout, but it doesn't seem to be reaching my cheeks or anything, so not too worried. We'll probably be able to tell a little bit better once we get to the darker shades anyways. I'm going to be taking another M518 brush and dipping it into the shade Cozy. I'm going to keep Cozy pretty tight to the tape at first, and then I will work it into the crease alongside the shade Cashmere. But I am going to keep it a little bit lower than Cashmere. Cashmere I brought up a little bit above the crease, so try to keep this one a little bit tighter. I'm starting out with a little bit, and then I'm going to just keep on building it till I get the shade that I'm looking for. I do like the way that the shades are blending, so that's really nice. Although I am noticing, like I've told you guys before, this has nothing to do with the eyeshadows, but you really should start out with a really clean face, because after putting the primer on my face as well as my foundation, I had leftover eyeliner on my waterline, and I didn't even attempt to try to clean that up, and it is melting all the way down my eye. Another reason that I didn't put the concealer on yet, because you just have no idea what's going to happen in the meantime while you're putting your eyeshadow on. So you can see that the black is like creeping down my face. It's almost all the way here, so that's crazy. So after I get done with my eyeshadow look, I'm going to clean it up with a makeup wipe and then pop some concealer on there, and hopefully that will take care of that. I've been deepening up this shade quite a bit, and I'm dragging it all the way to the tape line because the tape is going to prevent any shadow from going any farther, so you can just go basically right over the tape while you're blending the shade out, and then you'll see once we peel the tape off, it'll be such a pretty line. Now I'm going to take a 514 brush, still a Morphe brush, and it's similar to the 518, it's just a little bit smaller. So it's a little bit tighter, and I'm going to be dipping into the shade Fireside. And now I'm going to keep it even tighter than I kept Cozy. And I'm going to keep it right here before I blend it out. And again, I'm just going to be deepening it up as best that I can and dragging it up into the crease little by little. Good. Now that that shade's been deepened up quite a bit, I'm gonna go back into Cozy with the original brush that I used for Cozy and just blend back over Fireside so that it transitions nicely. I'm gonna do the same with Cashmere. That original transition shade, I wanna just kind of blend the top of this look out a little more and bring it back to that orangey shade at the top. Really want it to be nice and gradient. Now I'm gonna try my finger first, but I am gonna go into Sunset and pop that on my lid. Okay. Now I'm gonna take a Morphe shader brush and dip into the shade Candle. It's a little bit of a lighter shade. That was really, really gold. See if that does anything. Brighten up the inner corner a little more. Then I'm going back in with the M514 into Fireside, that deepest shade that we use on the outside. And I'm just gonna blend it over the gold a little bit so it's very transitioned, so that there's just not like a complete stop between the two. Then I'm gonna go in with a pencil brush from Morphe and dip that back into Candle. Just put it right on the tear duct. I'm gonna take my Tarte Duo eye pencil and use the pointer side, and I'm just gonna drag that over my lid. Well, that turned out to be a way thicker line than I was anticipating, but all right, I'm gonna go ahead and peel the tape off so you can see that crisp line. These are so dirty, so gross. Like I said, I'm gonna clean up underneath my eye because it's pretty gross, and get some concealer under there. For some reason, my video just like stops recording after like 20 minutes or something. It'll split my clip in half and then also just stop. And the first time I ever filmed on this camera, I didn't even notice that it had stopped because I was so focused on doing my makeup that I didn't even know it had stopped, and I lost like a whole portion of my video. So I'm gonna be blending this out. So hopefully you guys didn't miss me putting my concealer on, but it doesn't really matter because you can see where I put it. Just gonna blend this out. So I will say that I love the foundation, but I definitely prefer applying it with a brush, which is kind of opposite to other people. And it could just be that I'm like not as great at makeup, so for me it just works better for some reason. But when it comes to concealer, I prefer the sponge because it can get in these places like this in my inner corner and help me blend out. I'd like to try the Too Faced concealer and switch it up from my Tarte Shape Tape, because when I got matched for my Tarte Shape Tape concealer, she matched it to like my skin color. So that, I don't know if she thought that I just don't actually wear makeup because I went into the store without makeup on, But she was like, oh yeah, this is the perfect shade. And I'm like, okay. And I got home and it was like the same color as my skin. So concealer is for that. Like you are supposed to use it for like hiding your blemishes, so it probably should match your skin color, but I wanted it for like brightening reasons. So I just probably was not very clear about what I wanted. But I love the way the eyeshadow came out. I wish I had done my wing a little bit different because it's like way too dramatic for me. But it looks okay. But yeah, I really love the eyeshadow. I'm gonna go in with my Park Ave Princess palette. I'm gonna go in with Princess Cut and follow that up with this right here, which is called Carrot. And I am using my Morphe M527 brush. Again, I love the palette because instead of purchasing a single bronzer for $40, $45, you get 4 bronzers and 2 highlighting shades for that exact same price. Completely forgot to set my under eyes, so I'm gonna go back and do that really quick before I finish up my bronze. I only put 1 layer on, so it shouldn't be too bad. But I'm gonna go in with my Becca Soft Light Blurring Powder in the shade Golden Hour. I'm gonna use my M500 brush to just plop that, plop that underneath my eyes to set them. Set my concealer, set it around my nose. Yikes. Okay, that's that. And I'm going in with Princess Cut from my Park Ave Princess palette. It's more of a matte shade and it's very cool toned. I prefer cool toned shades on my face. I know that the eyeshadow look that I just did is really, really warm, but I don't care. I like cool toned, contoury, bronzing shades. Pop that on my head, forehead, bring it down my neck a little bit. Do 1 more layer on my cheekbones. Then I'm gonna go into Carrot, which is the same cool tone, but it's a little shimmerier, so it reminds me more of like a bronzing shade instead of a contouring shade. And I'm gonna use my Real Techniques blush brush for this. And I'm just gonna go right over what I just did with that bronzier shade. Next up is blush, which I'm going to be using my Milani Baked Blush. Can't say that. Baked Blush in the shade Luminoso. And I'm going to be using an M530 brush for this. Dust it on the apples and drag it back over top of... I looked at this as if it was a mirror. It's not a mirror. Gonna dust it over the apples of my cheeks and then just bring it back toward the bronzer. I wish I was Hispanic so badly. Like, people want me to be Hispanic when they meet me. They're like, oh my gosh, what nationality? I'm like, I'm white. White as your britches, I'm telling you. I'm gonna throw on some highlight. It's gonna be from the only highlight palette that I have, which is Anastasia Beverly Hills, the Aurora palette. I'm gonna go in with the shade Eclipse right here. It's kind of hard to see. This is a really gold shade. This is more of like a rosy gold shade. It's hard to tell because my ISO is up so high. Okay. I need to learn how to actually highlight my face. But you know what? I'm getting there, guys. Someday. Someday I'll figure it out. And then I'll be a mastermind of makeup. But until then, just gonna keep doing me. I've zoomed you back in because I'm going to finish up my under eyes a little bit. I'm just going to go in with a mixture of cashmere and then I'm going to tight line with Cozy. Wow, that's not even deep enough. I'm going to go in a little bit with Fireside, just like right on the waterline. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Alright, y'all. Gonna pop on some falsies and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm gonna put on some all-nighter spray by Urban Decay. This is the pollution protection one. I do like this mister. It's got like 2 caps, which is cute. I did try the Marc Jacobs setting spray, and it's like when you squirt it, it's not a mister, it just like squirts water at your face, so that's not a very nice one. I do like the all-nighter spray though, because I tried it once when I was doing this look up in Toronto last weekend before I was able to film this video. So I do like all of the new products that I got, except for that setting spray by Marc Jacobs. I'm not a fan of that. Also, I went back to the store and bought a few more products before the end of summer. So the one that I got was the Tarte in Bloom. So this is gonna be very fall geared, as you can see by the shades in here. Very geared toward fall, and I'm very excited. And the other thing I got were like 3 shades by Milani. I love the packaging. It's gold, just like the Tratlette palettes. Super cute. And these are all like very fall-y shades. I'm going to use Teddy Bear today for this look. I didn't put liner on. I'm just gonna pop some of this on. Smells like candy. I was not expecting that. Alright, that's it for this look. I hope you enjoyed walking through that with me. Again, I highly recommend all these products. I'll leave a product review in the description box below, and leave me some comments if you have any specific looks you want me to create with the Tratlette Toasted palette or the Tratlette in Bloom palette. I'm probably going to do a tutorial on something similar very soon. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.